In this video, I'm just going to go through the changes with trips in your Tesla, because this has changed in version 2026.14.1. So in this update, trips has had a significant change, and there's quite a bit to this. So before I go any further, let's just see what Grok says about it. Hey Grok, can you explain how trips has changed in Teslas in version 2026.14.1?
In Tesla's 2026.14.1 update, Trips has moved into the Energy app. You can now create unlimited custom trips with names, pause them, reset selectively, and view detailed graphs. Swipe left on the media card for quick access.
Okay, goodbye. So now when you go down to trips, you don't get the trips information in the menu structure. Instead, it takes you straight to the Energy app, because all your trips information has moved within the Energy app here. And there's quite a bit to this now to get your head around. There's a lot more information here than what there was before. So the Energy app is basically still the same. It's just got a lot more data in trips. So under drive, we can look at the trip or rated, current drive or since last charge, and this is going to show you your energy consumption and give you tips on how to improve it. So that is all the same. We can look at when the car is parked up. So this is recording my consumption now, and it's going to show what's using the energy while you're parked. And then when you go to trips, this is where you have an awful lot more information. So you've got your consumption over 10 miles, 100 miles or 200 miles. That's as it was before. The graph is now much smaller. Before that was half the screen. And then you've got the data represented in these tiles, and you can create many of them as well now. I've got one here that I've created, which is called Go Home. So you've got trip A and B as you got before, but up here you can click Add. Well, let's just press the information there and it will show you. But you can create lots of additional trips or tiles with that trip information. You can also rearrange them. So I could add a new trip and it's down there. I can go into it. There's obviously no information because I'm not driving, but I could rename this trip to work. I didn't spell that correctly there, but anyway, we've now got a new trip there, and we're going to have that new tile there. So I should be able to click and drag it around as well, like that. So as well as all the information here, it's now also in the media card here. So we can swipe across and there's some new dots up the side, which shows you there is further information. So before we just had this tile. So now you can swipe down on that and get various trips. Trip A, trip B, go home, trip to work. So you're going to get all of these in the tiles depending on how many you've got. This channel has had over 15 million views, yet only has 40,000 subscribers, whereas it should be 3 to 4 times that, because over 90% of the viewers are not subscribed. Please do, it's completely free, it's only a click for you and it really does help. So let's look at this trip that I've just created, and I've just driven back from a supercharger. So I've done 12.8 miles, took 29 minutes, consumed 3.1 kilowatt hours of energy. This is showing me the energy usage. So the orange peaks is when I was accelerating. The green troughs is when I was regenning. So you can see there, acceleration up there. This is obviously when I was slowing down. And at the bottom here, you can pause it, which is new. So if you are doing a trip and you've got a section of the trip you don't want to record, maybe you're recording motorway efficiency and you're pulling in to a service station, you could pause it to remove that bit of data from the recorded trip. You've got a reset there to clear the history from the trip. You can edit the name and then you can delete it. But of course, the main purpose of the Energy app is to get your predicted range, because this is a lot more accurate than your range up here, because this is the EPA rated range of the vehicle, which isn't very realistic. That's why it's far better to have your battery on percentage rather than miles. It's in the Energy app that you actually get the real predicted range based on your driving and energy consumption. So as we can see, my battery is currently at 85%, and if I continue driving like I've done over the last 10 miles, I've got a predicted range of 228 miles at 85%. If I drive like I've been doing in the last 100 miles, it drops to 189, and I've got a bit more history there in the last 200 miles. I'm going to get 188 miles from that 85% remaining. And to have all this information now on a card at the bottom of the screen is going to be quite handy. So as you're driving, you could have this card on and it's always showing you your accurate range rather than having the EPA range up there. So up there it's saying 216 miles, which isn't very realistic. But down here it's got 188 miles, which is more realistic. In this spring update, which in my case was version 2026.14.1, but I understand this one was rather buggy, and they're now rolling out .2 and .3 in other cars, there was a lot of updates. And in my full video, which I'll link below, where I reviewed what this brought into this car, there's also some undocumented updates as well. And I've got a couple of others I've found since running this car for a few days on this version. One which is very obvious is the all apps button has now changed from ... to a little symbol showing the last used apps, which personally I don't like. It's a bit messy, a bit cluttery. But anyway, that's one change. Another change which I did put in the video is the icon at the end of the volume tile now shows the source of the media rather than just a music note. It's also introduced more supercharging maps. So if I have a look at my local site, which is the Oxford Redbridge Park and Ride, we've now got a supercharging map for that site, whereas there wasn't one before. And I've got a full video on the channel about supercharger maps, which I made a couple of weeks ago, if you'd like to find out more. Another thing I've noticed that's changed in this update is the way the light sensor works. So now the auto lights come on when it's darker. They don't come on quite so early. Last night I found it was actually about an hour later in the evening when they came on. It was getting quite dark. I would have actually put the lights on myself manually if I didn't have auto lights. So they now come on much later, but I also found they toggle off far too quickly. Whereas it wasn't doing that before. So it's great they come on a bit later, because to be honest, they've always come on quite early on a Tesla. The slightest bit of darkness, rain or anything, the lights are on, whereas they're often not needed. So that's great. But I was driving at dusk where the car was obviously not sure whether to keep the lights on or not. And now they toggle off far too quick. So in about half a mile drive on a road locally, I was driving under trees. The lights were coming on, going off, coming on, going off, way too quick. There was no delay in it like you had before. And in that half a mile bit of road, the lights came on and off about 8 times. And to be honest, it was looking like I was flashing the car in front. So that's not quite so good. So if you found any other undocumented changes in this spring update, let me know in the comments below, and let me know how you found the new Energy app with trips integrated into it. So that'll do for this one. If you found it useful, as always, please do click the thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. If you like the video, please do click the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too. Plus, of course, subscribe if you're not. If the video saved you time or money, a little support via Ko-fi or the Super Thanks button would mean a lot. There's over 1,300 videos on the channel, so have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists. And here's 2 videos you may want to check out.